Chapter 7 Modern Army Combatives. Modern Army combative principles. Hand-to-hand combat is engagement between two or more persons in an empty-handed struggle within a handheld weapons such as knives, sticks, or projectile weapons that cannot be fired. These fightings are essentially military skills. Projectile weapons may be lost or broken. They may fail to fire. With friendly enemy forces becomes so intermingled that the firearms and the grenades are not practicable. Hand-to-hand combat skills become vital assets. Today's battlefield scenarios may require silent elimination of the enemy. Unarmed combat expedition weapons training should not be limited to the forward of the units. With the rapid mechanized, motorized, airborne, air assault abilities, units that throughout the battle area could be faced with a close quarters, unarmed fighting situation with low intensity conflicting scenarios, guerrilla warfare conditions. Any soldier is apt to face the unarmed confrontation with the enemy, and hand-to-hand combative training can save lives. The many practical battlefield benefits of combative training are not its only advantage. It can also contribute to the individual unit strength, flexibility, balance, cardio, respiratory fitness, confidence, self-discipline, and spirit of the corps. There are 8 basic principles that hand-to-hand fighting must be known and applied to successfully defeat an opponent. No, although not covered here, and there are many other guidelines involved with there. Through the years, the study becomes an initiative to a highly skilled fighter. Mental calm during a fight. The soldier must keep his ability to think. He must not allow fear or anger to control his actions. The situation awareness, things that are often going on around the fighter that can have direct impact of the outcome of the fight, such as the opportunity of weapons or other personal joining of the fight. Suppliness of the soldier cannot always count on being bigger and stronger than the enemy. He should therefore never try to oppose the enemy in a direct test of strength. Supplied in misdirection of the enemy's strength allows superior technique and fighter strategy to overcome the superior strength. The base. Base refers to the posture allows the soldier to gain leverage of the ground. Generally, a soldier must keep his center of gravity low and his base wide like a pyramid. 5. Dominant body position. Position refers to the location of the fighter body in relation to his opponent's the vital principle. The fighting is to gain control of the enemy by controlling the relationship before killing and disabling. The technique can be applied. The soldier must first maintain one of the dominant body position. Figures 7 through 5. Distance. Each technique has a window of effective based upon the amount of the space between two combats. The fighter must control the distance between himself and the enemy in order to control the fight. The physical balance. The balance refers to the ability to maintain equilibrium to remain in the stable upright position. 8. Leverage. A fighter uses the body to create a natural mechanical advantage over the parts of the body parts of the enemy body. By using a leverage, the fighter can have greater effect on the much larger enemy. The modern army combatives dominant body position. The back mount. The back mount, the most dominant body position, gives it the best control of the fight. The most allows you to strike and submit your enemy, while your opponent has few offensive options. Both fighters will be seated on the ground, and dominant fighter fighting facing opponent's back. Both legs will be wrapped around the opponent with the heels locked inside of the feet. Inside the legs, he will keep your hips and tip around the enemy to prevent him from working out of the position. Warning, do not interlock your ankles. They will provide your opponent the opportunity for an ankle break. Place one arm under the armpit other than around the neck of the control of the enemy's upper body. Clasp your hands together and opposing the thumbs to grip to help prevent the tearing of your fingers, breaking your hold on the escape. Tuck your head down near your overhook side arm, the way you may when your opponent throws elbows back towards your head, that he will not strike your face. The mount position achieves the dominant fighter sitting on the enemy's abdomen, chest, and with both feet of the knees to the ground and next to the opponent's ribs and hips. That affords the dominant fighter to the opportunity to strike at will. The range will clearly favor utilize the submission, as he leverages the fighter at the bottom in a non-dominant position. Suffers as a lack of range, must continually defend him against the submissions and chokes and joints and muscle manipulation. The front mount. The most dominant fighter is laying on the back with his knees bent, both feet posted on the ground, his elbows drawn in the tight of the sides are grounded to prevent his opponent from riding up on a high mount. You are sitting on your opponent's chest and the abdomen, both of the feet on the ground. Place your toes on the line inside of your ankles on the top of the mountain. It mitigates the risk of the injury. Ankles of your opponent attempts to roll you over. Your knees are as high as possible toward the opponent. Armpits to mitigate his ability to arch his hips and break your posture. Holds the position loosely to allow your opponent to turn over and should try. The non-dominant fighter must keep his both knees and bent and feet on the ground to allow him to arch his hips. His elbow stays on the ground to keep you from driving. His elbows must stay in on the ground to keep you from driving your knees toward the armpits. The non-dominant fighter to keep his head off the ground, so when they struck, damage will be limited. The guards, figure 7-3. You never want to fight off your back. However, the guard of the position, see figure 7-3, will allow transition of the back in a more advantageous position. The guard position allows the bottom of the fighter to exercise a certain amount of the control over the range, pushing the pulling of the enemy with the leg hips, and however, while the both of the fighters can strike each other, the top of the fighter has advantage of the punching down, where the bottom fighter enjoys the advantage of being able to submit his enemy. The non-dominant fighter will start off the kneeling position with both the knees, feet on the ground. Note warning: place your toes in the line inside of your ankles when the top of the guard of the position to mitigate the risk of injuring your ankles when your opponent attempts to speed you over. You are on your back. Control the opponent's body by locking your legs around his torso, controlling his arm of the elbows while you're locked in your opponent's guard. Establish a wide base of your knees, keeping your toes inside of your ankles to prevent breaking them during the sweep. Pushing your hands on the open hip flexors with the elbow toward in and the waist straight. This is 7-3, the guard. 7-4, side control. The side control position, see figure 7-4 and 7-4, as a natural, the less dominant, however, to allow to hold your enemy down and inflict enough damage in successful transmission to more dominant position. The non-dominant fighter will be lying belly on the ground with his knees bent forward and posted on the ground. The arm closest to the dominant fighter head will hide his arm under the opponent's armpit, and the arm closest to the enemy. The arm closest to the enemy hips will tabletop placed against. Put your elbow on the ground between your opponent's ear and shoulder to prevent him from slipping, simply pushing you back on the lower of your body. Prevent simply pushing your back on the lower of the body. Place your weight down on your enemy, keeping your hips lower the entire time. The side control. Control your enemy's hips and pinching with your backside of the knee and over the elbow together to prevent him from threading his legs to compose the guard. Turning his hips away from the tripod to single legs. Secure, maintain chest-to-chest contact with your opponent. Straighten your leg nearest to the head, pushing forward on the toe to keeping your knee off the ground. Use the pressure to push your hips down to enable your better control. 7-3, modern army combat is rifle with a fixed bayonet. The principle used in fighting with the rifle fixed to the bayonet are the same as knife fighting. Use the same angles of attack similar to body movements. The principal timing and distance remaining in the paramount. The main difference is extended difference provided by the length of the weapon. Imperative that the soldier fighting with the rifle fixed on the bayonet is the movement to the entire body beyond all the fighting techniques, not just of the upper body strength. A unit of the trainers should be especially conscious of the stressing forward full body mass and the motion of the power, correcting all deficiency during training. Whether the enemy is armed or unarmed, the soldier fighting with the rifle fixed bayonet must develop a mental attitude that he will survive and fight. He must continually evaluate each moment of the fight and determine his advantage of the options as well as the enemy. He should base the defense keeping of the body but moving and off the line of any attacks of the opponent. 8. The soldier seeking the openings of the enemy defenses and his own attacks and using all available body weapons at angles of attack. Rifle and bayonet technique fighting techniques continue as evolve and the weapons improved equipment and the newest tactics introduced. The firepower alone will not always drive the determined enemy from his position. He will often remain in defensive emplacements until driven out of by close combat. 3. The role of the soldier, particularly in the final phase of the assault, remains relatively unchanged. His mission to close with and disable the capture of the enemy. The mission remains the ultimate goal of all individual training. The rifle fixed in the bayonet is one of the final means of defeating your opponent as an assault. 7. During the infrontation missions at night and when secrecy must be maintained, the bayonet is an excellent silent weapon. When closing in the fighting, determined to the use of small arms, fires, grenades, are impracticable. When the situation does not permit loading and reloading the light rifle, the bayonet is still the weapon available for the soldier. The bayonet serves as a secondary weapon that should be the rifle. Developing stoppage and hand-to-hand encounters, the detached bayonet may be used in a handful of weapons. The way bayonets has may non-fighting uses is used to probe the mines as acute cut vegetation. Other tasks at the point of the cutting tool is needed. Developing rifle bayonet fighting skills is required to become a successful rifle bayonet fighter. A soldier must physically fit and mentally alert. A well-rounded physical training program will increase his chances of survival in the bayonet encounter. Mental alertness entails that being able to quickly detect and meet an opponent's attack for the direction. Aggressive accuracy, balance, and speed are essential for the training as well as the combat situation. These traits lead to the confidence, coordination, strength, and endurance that characterize the rifle bayonet fighter. The difference in individual body physique may require slight changes in described rifle bayonet techniques. The variation will be allowed in individual attacks and attack is effective. The rifle bayonet principle should be followed by the engaging in the type of the combat. Some of the principles follows the bayonet effective weapon may be aggressively installed. Aggressive hesitation may mean sudden death. The soldier must attack the relentless assault until his opponent is disabled and captured. He should also to take advantage of of any opening. The opponent fails to present an opening. The bayonet fighter must make one of the pairing of his own opponent's weapons, driving his blade of the rifle butt into the opponent with the force. But the attack should be made by the vulnerable part of the body. The attack should be made to a vulnerable part of the body: the face, throat, chest, abdomen, and groin. In the both training combat, the rifle bayonet fighter displays the spirit of the surrounding spirit of sounding off the lower aggressive growl. The instills feeling confidence with the ability to close with disabled capture of the enemy. The instinctive rifle bayonet fighting system is designed to capitalize natural agility, combative movement to the soldier. It must be emphasized that the precise leading movements will not be stressed during training. The maintain proper rifle bayonet fighting positions are key to success. One soldier must hold the rifle firmly but not rigidly. He must relax all muscles not used in specific position. Tense muscles may cause fatigue and slow him down. 3. After proper fighting training through the practice, the soldier instinctively assumes the basic position. 4. All position movements described in this handbook are for right-handed men. 5. A left-handed man who desires the left-handed technique must use the opposite hand and foot of each movement that phase described. All position movements can be executed with the magazine and sling attached. Attached is the attack position is the basic starting position from which all attacks movements originate. The attack position A and B sides. The attack position generally parallel boxer stance. The soldier assumes the position when running and hurdling obstacles. Explains the industrial each move. Take a step forward, then to the side of your left foot so that your feet are comfortable in distance apart. Hold your body erect and bend slightly forward to the waist. Flex your knees, balance and body the weight of the balls of your feet. The right of the forearm is roughly parallel to the ground. Hold the left arm high, generally in the front of the left shoulder. Maintain eye-to-eye contact with your opponent, watching his opponent body at the peripheral vision. Hold your rifle diagonally across your body at a sufficient distance from the body to add balance to protect you from enemy blows. Grasp the weapon in your left hand just below the upper sling of the swivel. Place the right hand into the small of the stock. Keep the sliding face outward and the cutting edge of the bayonet toward your opponent. Then command is attack position move. The instructor gives the command and the soldier perform the movement. Relaxed position gives the soldier a chance to rest during the training. The figure 7-7 shows the relaxed position. The relaxed position allows the soldier to direct his attention toward the instructor. He discusses, demonstrates the position movements to assume the relaxed position for the attack. Position straighten the waist, knees lower, the rifle across the front of the body, extended the arms downward. Command is relaxed. The instructor gives the command. The soldier perform the movement. The movements involve the soldier instinctively striking in the openings and becoming aggressive in his attack. The movements attempted once as he learned to relax. He has developed instinctive reflexes. His movements do not have to be executed in prescribed order. He will achieve balance in his movements, being ready to strike in any direction, keeping striking until it disables the opponent. There are two basic movements that used throughout the bayonet instruction: the whirl and the crossover. The movements develop an instinct reaction command F4 to the instructor. Maximum control of the training formation while on the training field. Whirl movement allows the rifle bayonet, when properly executed, to make the change of the opponent attacking him. From the rear, at the completion of the whirl, the soldier remains at the attack position. You see the whirl movement says step 1, step 2, and step 3. The rifle instructor explains to demonstrate how to spin your body around, pivoting on the ball, leading your foot in the direction of the leading foot of the facing complete about. The command is whirl, and the instructor gives the command. The soldier performs the movement. The cross movement is used to separate the ranks and safety distance during the rifle bayonet training. When the soldiers in rank came close to each other to safely execute the additional movements, the crossover is used to separate the rank and the safe distance apart. The instructor explains to demonstrate how to move the straight forward and pass an opponent and soldier's right shoulder from the pass to the opponent's right shoulder. Continue moving forward about 6 steps, halt, and without the command, execute a whirl. Remain in the attack position, wait for the further commands. Command is crossover. The instruction command of the soldier perform the movement. Note the left-handed personnel cross the left shoulder to left shoulder. Attacks are designed to disable capture of the opponent, include the thrust, butt, stroke, slash, and smash. And each of these movements may be used as the initial attack or as a follow-up. It should be initial movement to fail to find its mark. Soldiers learn their movements separately. Soldiers learn to these movements separately. Continual training will enable soldiers to execute these movements in a swift and continuous series. During all training, the emphasis will be on conducting natural balance movements that do effective damage to the target. Prescribed learned movements will be not stressed. Defensive moments are needed to the times the soldier loses initiative force to defend himself. He may also meet the opponent who does not present in a vulnerable area to attack. Therefore, he must make an opening initiating parry or blocker movement following up with the vicious attack. The follow-up of the attack is immediately violent. All training will be serious. All training will stress the damage to the target. Violent action using natural movements that are opposed to the precise stereotype movements. Instinctive aggressive action balanced on the keys of the offense with the rifle and the bayonet. That was chapter 7.